You're listening to the Parts Pros podcast, the only podcast made specifically for automotive parts professionals. We're here to dive into the latest industry trends, expert strategies, and real-world solutions to drive success and boost your parts department bottom line. Hi, my name's Amanda. You've seen me on here before, so you know I'm an automotive marketing expert with more than a decade of experience helping dealerships drive growth in the digital landscape. I also have today Emily, who you have also met before. She is joining me from our official podcast sponsor, RevolutionParts, and she's also an e-commerce guru. She has 5 years of hands-on experience working in both OEM and aftermarket parts sales. How are you doing today, Emily?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Amanda. It's eBay and Amazon season. I'm excited to keep talking about it with our next guest.
That is right. We are continuing our eBay and Amazon series with our friend Junior from Parkway Chevrolet in Tomball, Texas. We're really excited to have Junior here today because he's actually a frequent listener of the Parts Pros podcast. So he knows exactly what to talk about, exactly what you guys need to know. And he's going to really focus on eBay and Amazon today and his experience. After leaving the Marine Corps and trying out a few different careers, he landed in the e-commerce business and became a self-built Amazon and eBay e-commerce expert. So he didn't actually start out in the parts business. He started out in e-commerce. He joined the e-commerce program at Parkway a few years ago and is now the leader of the e-commerce team. He's actually leading a team of 3 e-commerce experts and is excited to be expanding his team by 2 more people in the very near future. So he's got a little bit of experience in Amazon and eBay and leading these teams. Welcome, Junior. How are you doing today?
Hi, good, Amanda. Emily, thanks for having me. I'm doing better than I deserve. Appreciate it.
That is great to hear. Share with us a little bit about your background, who you are, and why you were crazy enough to get into e-commerce and then the automotive industry.
Crazy enough to do it is that's the number one question. So, like you said, I joined the Marine Corps outside of high school. I left there. I went to motorcycle technical school because that's what I wanted to do since I was a little kid. Quickly realized that I had back problems and I was like, this isn't going to work. So I bounced around for a while, started selling real estate back here in Texas because that's what my mom does. I was like, all right, this isn't for me. Found e-commerce, and that's what I got into. And that's what really I got excited about. I'm like, wait, if I sell 10 of these, I don't have to, okay, cool. I can do this. I don't have to talk to a lot of people. Cool. We're good. I can email them. Great. So I started on that and learning Amazon and eBay and just consuming any and all materials I could on it and building my own business. And it was going good, but building your own business has its own weaknesses as well, own problems. And eventually one night I'm sitting there and I'm just scrolling Indeed and a position for Amazon parts rep at Parkway Chevrolet popped up. And I was like, wait, I know Amazon. I know Parkway Chevrolet. My dad's been working there for a few years as a fleet salesman, and I know parts, automotive parts. So let's give this a shot. So I came in and made a deal, and we got to talking, and it's been pedal to the metal, rocking and rolling ever since.
That's excellent. Talk to us about what it's like, selling parts via eBay and Amazon there at Parkway.
It can be stressful, but it's well worth it. We do a large volume. When I did get here, it was chaos. There was not any organization. It was a lot of parts guys trying to sell online, not an e-com guy selling parts. And that's where, I give my boss, my super boss, Robert Stevens, as everybody likes to call him, credit for knowing that I've got to bring in a quote unquote professional into the mix. And it's, I love it because I don't have to get out there and sell cars and be on the hot pavement and do all that. And, it's the amount of work I do on the back end means the more that can come in on the front end. And it's motivating to me seeing the numbers grow every day. And I keep track of it like a hawk.
That's excellent. Now, being an e-commerce, especially e-commerce parts seller, is it's a pretty niche business. It's pretty specific. So talk to us about what made you want to not only getting into becoming an expert in Amazon and eBay, but then get into doing that in this industry.
Well, what I love about Amazon and eBay specifically is they do all the marketing for you. I don't have to go out and buy ads and worry about keywords and all of that little stuff. And on Amazon, if you are the number one, you become number one by having quality service to the customers. That's the number one thing I can say about selling on Amazon is because you can have 10 people selling the same exact part. Well, if you're decent on pricing, but you always get your orders out the door, Amazon's going to notice that and adjust your shipping times and put you at the top of the list. And same thing on eBay. If you have consistent quality listings, you have the customers are there. You just have to get the parts out the door and get them there in a timely, professional packaging and all of that. It's easier than it sounds, but there's some work on the back end that really has to be put into it. And it's just, I guess it's easy but hard. I mean, I chose my hard and it wasn't that hard, but it's different stressors in life.
Let's talk about some of that back end. I think people think about getting into eBay and Amazon sales, and they're like, okay, well, I've got to write a product title, product description. I got to have a photo. I got to put it out there. Done. It's going to sell. I think that there's a lot more to it than just a description and some photos. So talk to us about what some of that back end headache is and what some of the effort you're putting in there is.
Well, communication. I can't say that enough. Communication between me and my team, between me and the warehouse, between me and customers, that is the biggest key to my success. And that's how I've gotten to where I'm at now. Because when I first started, if I'm printing tickets to the warehouse to pick, they don't know where to put them, or they're putting them all crazy or something. And it's like, I'm running around in circles looking for the same part that's already been found. So that's a number, just having your organization on the back end. And then like whenever I first started, there wasn't any organization, like I said. And boxes were being, like, recycled boxes were being used. So that's something, when you get into this, you got to start thinking, you're like, okay, I've got to get a system in place. I've got to start buying some boxes from a reputable place, whether it's your half price boxes, your Uline, or wherever, and just getting this organization and then going, okay, I am going to have a dedicated person to this. It was just me for at least 6 months until I'm overflowing at the gills and I'm like, hey boss, I need help. Give me somebody. And finally I get somebody and I'd move the needle up a little bit more. And I go, okay, I need somebody else. Move it up a little bit more. Then somebody would leave and we'd go back and forth. So it can be stressful, but if done right and diligently, it can be very, very successful.
So organization, communication, and then of course turnover rate. I think every parts manager will tell you, whether they're doing e-commerce, Amazon, eBay, wholesale, turnover is probably their biggest headache. And so that turnover rate is something you're constantly having to overcome. Now, you said that you were hired to be the Amazon e-commerce person at the dealership. So you guys did it different than we see most dealerships. Most dealerships that we see get into eBay first and then Amazon. Kind of talk to us about how getting into the dealership and getting into Amazon sales worked before then adding eBay, and what made you decide to add eBay to your Amazon store.
So it was really interesting. I came in and I'm like, wait, you have a Amazon? To me, I'm like, Amazon store? I was like, the listings are already done. You just got to plug and play. I'm like, I can do this. I'm here for it. And so when I came in, there was no system. At the time, Amazon wasn't even connected to Revolution, which, as y'all know, Revolution it takes away 10 of the headaches immediately. So I'm like, I'm putting pieces of the puzzle together. I'm wait. So for a while, I was doing Amazon just by itself on the side, separate from Revolution, which you have shipping involved in it, which makes it easier, but you're still having to keep track of the invoices and things like that. And the inventory being updated, it wasn't. The only way the inventory was being updated, actually, you might get a kick out of this one, was they had hired a guy that was out of state, somebody that ran a little company, and was like, oh, I'll update your listings for you all the time, and I'll keep your inventory up to date, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, who are y'all paying? They were paying somebody randomly $200 a month to get into their Amazon account and update inventory. And I'm like, but we don't even have this in stock. Like, if you don't have it in stock, you can't sell it because Amazon will ding you. I was like, that's a whole headache. I'm like, what is going? Like, no, he's fired. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to connect this to Revolution. We're going to update the inventory that way properly. Every day it gets updated. We're good there. Cool. All the orders are going to flow in. And Revolution, oh, you can tie in shipping with Revolution. Shipping wasn't even integrated into Revolution whenever I got here. I had to make that integration. And then, so I did that. And I'm like, oh, Revolution offers us cheaper shipping. So I'm like, boom. So the sales immediately went from a couple $100 a day to a couple $1,000 a day. And it's been rolling ever since. So Amazon was my wheelhouse because I didn't have to take pictures. I didn't have to worry about writing up descriptions. I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Amazon did it for me. And I don't know about you, but the first thing I do whenever I get online and I look for something, I look for it on Amazon because it's just easy. They have my credit card information. They got my address. It's done. Boom. Make my life easy. Let's go. So that's why I like it. About 6 months to a year later, I was like, okay, it's time to, I think Jinsei actually looked at me and goes, why aren't you on eBay? And I'm like, because I'm worried about, I'm not trying to start too many fires. And he's like, start it. I'm like, okay. So I started eBay, and that quickly took off as well. And those of y'all that don't know, Jinsei he's like a sensei of eBay world. So it really, like, my eBay store exploded. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have enough people for this. So Amazon by itself, okay, you can do it, but not implementing the tools of Revolution can make it 10 times more difficult than it needs to be. This isn't a plug and play, turn it on and let it run. It's you got to watch it, but it's not oh my God, if I make one little anything can be changed, anything can be done. It's really easy to manage. You just have to manage it is what I've found. And it's really, I mean, I've went from, like I said, a couple $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars a month now with Amazon and Revolution. And that's just in Amazon. We've been doing exploding growth.
Let's talk about the difference between do-it-yourself versus a partner, and then I think Emily's got some questions. So you did Amazon on your own for 6 months before, bringing in a partner, and then Jinsei, which for our listeners here, we had Jinsei and Anthony on the podcast just a couple of episodes ago to talk about eBay and Amazon sales. And then our last couple of episodes, we had a couple of our friends from Dick Hoover's in CDJR in Michigan talk about their experience as well. And I think we've heard a lot about working with a partner and how it makes your life easier. But what I'd really like to hear from you, Junior, is specifically, are there specific things that you're like, I went from spending, 10 hours a week to 1 hour a week on these things when I got a partner?
Reconciliation was one of them, because on Amazon, on the back end of it, there's nowhere to put like invoice numbers or anything like that. So my accountants love me upstairs because they have all the data and they can pull the reports from Revolution, and it works great. But it's not having 4 platforms to go to. It's all in one. It's a lot easier. And I get this double support. So if I have a problem with Amazon, I can call Amazon. But if you've ever called Amazon, good luck. Let me know how it works out for you. But if you call Revolution, you get the support, and they're like, well, we've ran through this issue before. We'll run it this way. And you have more people than you know what to do with to really help you out and solve these problems. So it saves me hours upon hours whenever it comes to a problem like that. But on a regular basis, my guys can run through input orders, because I get all of my orders through Amazon into Revolution, and they're all there. If a part comes in and I can make notes inside of Revolution, that alone, the notes to my team has saved me hours of not having to go and chase them and update them. And then being able to email customers as well from Revolution and going, hey, what's your VIN number? Especially like when it comes to eBay. I know that saves me a ton of time, because when it's not connected or something goes wrong, we have to go back and forth between platforms. But the 2 hours a day it saves me from having to jump back and forth just to be able to email customers and go, what's your VIN number? Oh yeah, hey, we do have that in stock. Yes, that fits your vehicle. That's great. And I'd say it probably at least saves me 15 hours a week just through this one integration, and probably makes me an extra 6 figures a month at least in sales and revenue.
That is so awesome. And even better, I think we need to make like a TikTok video with you where you say, have you ever tried calling Amazon customer service? Good luck, call RevolutionParts, because all our CEO Ibrahim needs to hear is that he's better at his job than Jeff Bezos.
I love it. Well, hey, if Jinsei is the sensei of selling on marketplaces, then Junior, you got to be the senpai. I mean, you are so on top of it. You clearly know what it takes to be successful. So I'm curious, I'm sure the listeners are too. What are your top 3 tips to someone thinking about selling on eBay or Amazon?
Thank you for those kind words, Emily. Communication. I will say it again until I'm blue in the face. Communication, communication, communication. And I don't mean just with customers. I mean with your team, with your up support, down support, everyone in the dealership, and then letting other people know you sell online. And then on top of that, consistency. It's not just about, oh, I'm going to go work online in this little for like an hour today, and then I'm going to go jump over here. No, like you need somebody that's on it all day long. That's what their job is to get orders out the door. Because Amazon, especially with Amazon orders, anybody that 90% of people have probably ordered at least once off of Amazon, and you want it now, you want it yesterday. You're already checking your mailbox by the time you place the order going, is it here yet? My team, we make sure it's there. Within a couple of days, you're getting your part. You're getting that email that your part shipped. We're not waiting 3 days and then going, oh, we don't have it. Communication, consistency, and then the golden rule, just treat others how you want to be treated. I mean, like, I want a professional package whenever I get it. I want people to call me and go, hey, we don't have this, or, this doesn't fit, or whatever the issue may be. And then I got one more for you, a bonus: processes. Your routines, consistency, processes, and communications, and the golden rule. And I think you'll be golden.
Thanks for that roundup. I mean, that's incredible. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I've been working with hundreds of dealers selling online for years. So thanks for that insight. I'm sure, anyone listening can take that and be successful selling on Amazon and eBay. So next question: what kind of impact have selling on Amazon and eBay specifically made on your parts business? And if I know parts people, they want to hear numbers for sure, but I'd also really like to know how it's impacted you in your career, and in your role.
Well, it's definitely, I mean, like I said, we went from doing 25 to 50K. I don't know if I did say this, but we went from 25 to 50K in sales when I first started in this department to now we're pushing over 350K a month in revenue. So obviously my commission has went up just a little bit. So I'm kind of happy about it. My fiance's happy about it. It's worked out pretty well. On those bad months, it's kind of like, what did I do wrong? How Amazon and eBay have affected everything. I have a perfect example for you on this. About 2 months ago, General Motors decided they were going to drop the hammer on everyone, and they restricted listings on Amazon, which if a listing is restricted, you are no longer allowed to sell it unless you have permission from the manufacturer. I didn't have that. I went from 15,000 listings to 500 listings in a matter of an hour. I was distraught, to say the least. I was losing my mind, and my team was like, what's going on? Why are you having a meltdown? Like, we just lost Amazon. And whenever, I'm talking, we did 180K in sales and revenue in, what was it, April? I think it was, yeah, April. We did $180,000 in revenue. I went to the following month to 140 because we lost, and then 120 the next month. We lost it at the end of May and the beginning of June. For about 3 weeks, we had no Amazon, and my sales dropped 50,000 by 50,000. And I was doing everything I can, night and day, trying to call people. I'm bugging everybody. Y'all know Mike King. I was calling him. I was calling everybody. Anybody in General Motors, I'm calling area reps going, what is going on? They're like, who are you? How did you get my number? And I'm like, I don't care. I need this back. Eventually, finally, after lots of emails and other things, I got it. The mistake got corrected, and General Motors granted us access to it, and I got it back up and running as fast as possible. As soon as it started going back up, we're rolling. We're probably at 150K this month already in revenue on Amazon. So having that in our pocket of being able to sell on Amazon has been detrimental is a bad word, so I don't want to say that, but instrumental. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Instrumental to our e-com department. I have since, while that was down, trying to build eBay up because I want that up. And we have a good eBay department, but it's been lacking because I like to focus on Amazon. So now I'm like, okay, Robert Jr., go over there and focus on eBay. So that's what I've been doing lately, and it's increased in sales too. My parts manager looks at me and he goes, what are you doing over there? Like, how are you? Like, wait a minute. You weren't, this got out of hand. I'm like, well, what'd you hire me for? And so far so good. I'm trying to bring on more team members here in a week or two, and then we're going to keep going from there. His only question was, where are you going to put them? I was like, I will figure that out. Don't worry.
So what I'm hearing is becoming an e-commerce expert will not only make you a stalker and really good at finding information, but it'll also help you buy a boat. So it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I am close to a lake, so you got to have that boat money in Texas. It gets kind of hot down here.
Yes, I'm also, as our listeners know, I talk about it all the time. I'm your typical Texan that can't shut up about it. But I'm also in Texas, and so I know the very first thing you do when you get that bonus check is most of the time you go buy a boat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, Junior, I cannot thank you enough. This has been an awesome episode. You've given some great insights and shared information with us that I didn't even know. We're better at customer service than Amazon, so I'm gonna check off that box. But that's really good to hear, and it's really good to get all of the advice that you had to share about eBay and Amazon and your experience. And we so appreciate you being here. I'm going to wrap it up. This is all for this episode of the Parts Pros. Thank you for tuning in. For more information on the Parts Pros and our official e-commerce sponsor, Revolution Parts, visit partsprospodcast.com. If you have not listened to those episodes, please go listen to the episodes with our friends from Dick Houvers and as well as Anthony and Jensei. All of those episodes are this season, and they feature some amazing tips about selling on eBay and Amazon and how to become an e-commerce expert. Again, partsprospodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever it is that you listen to your latest episode of the podcast. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.